As consumers, it's easy to take for granted the safety of the food that we eat each and every day. Just about every day, we eat foods that were preserved in such a way to prevent pathogenic bacteria from growing and to also prevent other means of adulteration, such as chemical or physical hazards. For example, look at this Wolf Tracks ice cream. Isn't it nice to know that we can trust the folks at Howling Cow to make ice cream that doesn't have contamination with E. coli or Listeria monocytogenes? Or isn't it nice that it doesn't have chemicals from cleaning or sanitation in it? Or not to mention the physical hazard of metal shavings from the equipment in the processing room. We've come a long ways since a few hundred years ago when only a few foods were preserved, such as butter or cheese. Nowadays, there are literally thousands and thousands of choices at the supermarket. What's the difference? Well, the difference is food safety management systems, which began their infancy in the 1940s. The history of food safety management systems is traced back to World War II. You may remember from history class how many soldiers were displaced from their homes to go fight the battle over in Europe. But what you might not have heard was that there were almost as many casualties on the home front of workers making the munitions for the war as there were on the battlefield. The military quickly responded by researching methods for manufacturing munitions in a way that was safe for the workers in this occupation. Eventually, the system safety approach emerged and was refined through the 1960s. While the military was refining their system safety approach, NASA was engaged in the space race, as they were racing the Soviet Union to be the first country to put a man on the moon. The food safety of the diets the astronauts consumed was obviously a concern. So NASA realized they needed to borrow the system safety approach. In doing so, they contracted with the Pillsbury Company to develop a system safety approach for food manufacturing. The result was a system called Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Points. NASA won the space race without any foodborne illnesses. The success of their HACCP approach caught the attention of federal food agencies who saw the potential for HACCP to be applied to all food manufacturers. The federal government refined the HACCP approach and made it required for manufacturers of juice, seafood, and red meat and poultry products. After several high-profile outbreaks from manufactured foods outside these categories, the Food Safety Modernization Act of 2011 was passed, and now food safety management systems are essentially required for all manufactured food products in the United States. So now the food industry needs your help, as we need more qualified food safety professionals who are able to implement food safety management systems. Without you, we'll have the economic burden of food recalls, and not to mention foodborne illnesses and sometimes deaths. So join me in getting started by reviewing the activities for the History of Food Safety Management Plans lesson.